So this is the next template. Again, I'll give you a free copy to download and you can play around with the figures for yourself. This is a real life scenario, which we're going to use this and a couple of other examples that I've done quite frequently. So this is now giving you an insight into the build costs, real build costs of this particular house. This is 589A Charminster Road in Bournemouth. It's a 3-bedroom detached house, roughly 90 square metres, so just over 900, say 950 square feet. Build costs generally, just as so you have an understanding, tend to range from about £1,000 a square metre for a basic house up to probably 2,200 square metres for a luxury house with top of the range fittings and an expensive kitchen. I tend to build at a range of about £1,200 a square metre, but I do go and source a lot of the things like kitchens and bathrooms and taps myself, and I will buy, for example, a £200 tap for going in the downstairs toilet. I'll pay maybe £30 or £40. I'll wait for them to come on sale and I'll buy a job lot, and a job lot's generally about 50 of them. It's up to the individual developer what they do, and if you're selling on the option then it's irrelevant to you, but it does give you an idea of how much it costs to build a house, and therefore you can work out how much your option is worth or how much the land is worth. So the first thing you've got to do is strip the site down, put drainage and sewerage in, and put some fencing up for health and safety reasons and security as well. We then go on to doing the footings. They call it the oversight, digging down, and very often that's where most of the problems are found, is under the ground. You can be pretty certain what your build cost is going to be when you get out of the ground, i.e. when you've built your foundations, but it's when you're going down that you can have problems. We've got a bit more there, which is your brickwork. Okay, you've got the labour side and the material side. They're generally pretty equal. Then you've got carpentry for things like roofs, plastering and rendering. You've got a plumber, obviously an electrician, windows and doors. To give you an idea of how much they cost, these are top of the range, A-rated, energy efficient UPVC. Got decorator, scaffolding that's required. Got the tiling for the roof. We needed some special lintels support for the windows, for 2 windows in this particular property. Kitchen, I generally, as it says here, customers supply the kitchen, I go and get that. Carpet and flooring for the house, which is generally downstairs. I do nice wood laminate, which I source, and then carpet upstairs and in the lounge downstairs. Bathroom, again I supply the bathroom. There's 1 bathroom upstairs in this particular one, and a WC which you have to have under building regs downstairs, and it's got to be disabled friendly and allow a wheelchair to turn. You've got health and safety, setting out the building using a satellite. NHBC is your building warranty, which lasts for 10 years, which the builder has to take on. You've then got skips for removing rubbish, so everything's done properly. There's no sticking it at the back of the builder's van and dumping it somewhere in the middle of nowhere. Hire equipment, which would be things like diggers, putting in your sewage, putting in the gas, electricity, water. That's an application fee only, and that was actually getting the local water authority to come out and actually do it for you, this particular one. And then we've got some additions which have been added in. And remember, this is a real life example of what I was billed. So these are all, I've got the invoices for each individual item here. So you've got planning department, that's sending samples of your tiles, your roof slates and your bricks, which they have to approve. This is the haulage of soil that was dug out. This is another NHBC charge. And then you've got your thermal and acoustic, what are called the SAPs, which have to be done under building regs. You've got building control, where they come out and give you a sign off that you're not in breach of any building regulations. Got construction engineering fees, which is for working out tolerances and so forth. This is my architect planning fees there. Then we've got some extra things we decided to do on the roof. I think this particular one was the council didn't like some of the tiles, so we had to go and change the tiles, which was a bit silly, but there you go. And this is doing external work outside, which in this case has been very expensive because it was on a slight slope. So there's quite a lot of work to be done. The person, this was sold off plan, this house, the person also wanted decking and various other bits done. So we had to do that. Your material side, you've got the muck away. The buyer also wanted a nicer front door, so we did that. They wanted an extra parking space, so we had to apply to the council for that, and then that was the cost of actually doing it. The council do it themselves, so they send someone out. We could have done it for a couple of £100, but that's what we got charged, and this captive audience really. That's the tiling costs in the bathroom and kitchen, and the labour. And then there's some extra things that the plumber and electrician have to do, like an alarm system, cameras, etc., which all added up. This is tarmacking bays. As we go down, we'll also have, let's have a little look here, extra decorating work. They wanted to change colours, kitchen fitting, and you've got turf. So I've added everything in. It's come to roughly £100,000, so probably about £110 a square metre, but on top of that, I pay my project manager and builder 15% override for doing it, so I don't ever have to turn up on site. So although that sounds like a lot of money, it took 4 or 5 months for them to build. It saved me a fortune in driving back and forth and having to get involved in hiring subcontractors and then all the problems when they don't turn up. But there's a copy of this to be found as well that you're welcome to have a play around with. At a later date, we'll go into more advanced detail and work out the percentage for each item. For example, the percentage you'll spend on foundations generally, percentage on roofing, percentage on your plumber and electrician. So you'll know then when you come to cost out your own builds whether the pricing that you've been given is accurate or not, or whether, as is often the case, they're trying to rip you off.